Hello, my dear friends. How are you all? I hope you all are fine. So, you are very welcome in our lecture number 4 of direct and inverse proportions. Okay, so I hope you will enjoy this lecture. So, let's start without wasting the time. Yes, so today we are going to discuss applications of direct and inverse proportions. Okay, applications of direct and inverse proportion. Okay, my dear friends. So, now in our daily life, we notice variations in the values of multiple quantities depending on the variation in values of some other quantities. Okay, so let's see the examples, or we can say the applications of direct and inverse proportions in our daily life. Okay, so here is the amount of heat transferred is directly proportional to the temperature changes. Okay, so as the temperature changes, it increases, the amount of heat transfer it increases. So they are what? They are directly proportional. Okay, now marks of students are directly proportional to his hard works. Okay, it means a student doing the hard work more than he got the marks more. Okay, yes. Now the next one is the number of fruits is directly proportional to the price of fruits. Okay, number of fruits is directly proportional. If we increase the number of fruits, then the price of fruits will also automatically increase. Now, the bank balance is inversely proportional to spending. Is inversely proportional to spending. If we increase the spending, the bank balance will be decreased. Okay, the working days required to complete the work are inversely proportional to the number of laborers. We know that very well. The velocity of body is inversely proportional to time, because if we increase the velocity, then the time will decrease. Understand? Yes, now here, so the question number 1 is, in a model of ship, the mast is 9 centimeter high. Okay, while the mast of the actual ship is 12 meter high. Okay, so you can see that, you can observe this, we have two ships. One is model of the ship and the other is actual ship. Okay, so if the length of this ship is 28 meter, now how long is the model ship? Okay, so here you can see that, let's suppose we have here, let's suppose this is actual ship. Okay, and this is what? This is mast. This is mast. Okay, and let's suppose we have model ship. Okay, we have, this is model ship, and we know that model ship is smaller than the actual ship, and this is length of mast. Okay, here you can observe this, the length of mast of actual ship is 12 meter and the length of actual ship is 28 meter, and height of mast of the model ship is 9 centimeter, and length we have to find. Okay, so here we can write mast of model ship is 9 centimeter high if mast of actual ship, okay, so if mast of actual ship is what? Actual ship is 12 meter. What is? Yes, 12 meter. Okay, now let's suppose here is, we know that here the length of the ship is, here is length of ship is 28 meter. Okay, now let length of model of ship, so let's suppose we are taking x here, x. Okay, yes, so now as the length of the actual ship is increases, then the length of the model ship is also increases. Okay, so here we can write it as the length of actual shape, as the length of actual shape increases, then the length of model of the shape is also increases. Okay, so here you can see that these two variables are what? They are in direct proportion. They are what? Yeah, so we can write they are in direct proportion. Got it, my dear friends? Okay, so we can say length in actual shape is directly proportional to the length in the model shape. Okay, and we know that if two variables are in direct proportion, we can write x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. And here is x1 is, here you can write 9 centimeter. Okay, and y1 is, here is 12 meter. Understand, my dear friends? And x2 is what? x2 is x centimeter, we are assuming x. And here is y2 is, yes, you can see y2 is this 28 meter. What is 28 meter? So we have x1 which is mass of model shape, y1 which is mass of, yes, actual shape, x2 is length of model shape, y2 is length of actual shape. Okay, so now if we put the values here, we get 9 upon 12 is equals to x upon 28 is equals to x upon 28. Okay, so after solving this, x into 12 is equals to 9 into 28. So here we get x is equals to 9 into 28 divided by 12. We can cancel 9 by 3 in 3 times. We can cancel 12 by 3 in 4 times. And we can divide 28 by 4 in 7 times. So we get 3 into 7. So x is what? X is 21. And here it is in centimeter. This is what? This is the length of the model shape. Length of the model shape. So we can write length of model shape is 21 centimeter. What is? Yes, 21 centimeter. I hope you understand these things. Yes, so now the next question here you can see that. Now suppose 2 kg of sugar contains 9 into 10 raised to power 6 crystals. How many sugar crystals are there in? Okay, so first is 5 kg of sugar. Okay, so now here in this question it is saying that in 2 kg of sugar it contains 9 into 10 raised to power 6 crystals. Okay, and we have to find that how many sugar crystal are there in 5 kg of sugar. Okay, so 2 kg of sugar contains 9 into 10 raised to power 6 crystals. Okay, 6 crystals. And now let's suppose that 5 kg of sugar, 5 kg of sugar contains X crystal. We are taking X crystals. Okay, so if we make the table like here, you can see that here is quantity of sugar, and here is number of crystals. Okay, so for 2 kg of sugar, the number of crystals is 9 into 10 raised to power 6. For 5 kg of sugar, the number of crystal is X. Okay, number of crystal is what? X. So now here we know that as the quantity of sugar is increases, so this is in kg. As the quantity of sugar is increases, then the number of crystals automatically increases. Okay, so we can say that these two variables are what? Are in direct proportion. Are in what? Are in direct proportion. So here we can write as quantity of sugar. As quantity of sugar increases, then the number of crystal increases. Okay, my dear friend, I hope you understand these things. So now we can say that they are in direct proportion. They are in direct proportion. Okay, so here is, if these two variables are, let's suppose, x, and this is y. Okay, and they are in direct proportion, and here we can write this is x1. Okay, and this is x2. This is y1, and this is y2. And when two variables are in direct proportion, then we can write x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. So here we can put, and here is x1 is what? X1 is 2. Okay, and y1 is, here you can see 9 into 10 raised to power 6. y1 is 9 into 10 raised to power 6 is equals to, okay, and x2 is what? 5, and y2 is, here is, this is, we are assuming this is x. Okay, so after cross multiplying, here 2 into x is equals to 5 into 9 into 10 raised to power 6. 9 into 10 raised to power 6. Okay, so this will become like x is equals to 9 into 5 into 10 raised to power 6 divided by 2. So this will become 45 into 10 raised to power 6 divided by 2. And after solving this, here we get x is equals to 22.5 into 10 raised to power 6 crystals. Into 10 raised to power 6 crystal. Okay, understand, my dear friends? So we can say that if quantity of sugar is 5, then the number of crystal is 22.5 into 10 raised to power 6 crystal. So we can write the number of crystal is 22.5 into 10 raised to power 6. Okay, so this is the answer of this question. Yes, now in the second part, for 1.2 of sugar, then how many crystals is, how many contain crystals? Okay, so here is, let's suppose 1.2 kg of sugar contains Y crystal. Okay, so here we can write quantity of sugar, and here is number of crystal. So when 2 kg of sugar, it contains 9 into 10 raised to power 6 crystal. Okay, when 1.2 kg of quantity of sugar is, then it contains Y crystal, and we know that these two variables are in direct proportion. So here we can write it as x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. So this will become 2 upon 9 into 10 raised to power 6 is equals to 1.2 upon y. So after solving this, here we get 2 into y is equals to 1.2 into 9 into 10 raised to power 6. 9 into 10 raised to power 6. So here is y is equals to 1.2 into 9 into 10 raised to power 6, and it is divided by 2, and it is what? Divided by 2. So if we remove this point, here we get 10, okay, in the denominator. I hope you understand these things. So we can cancel this by 6 times. So 6 into 9 is what? This is 54 upon 10 into 10 raised to power 6. So this will become like y is equals to 5.4 into 10 raised to power 6 crystal. So we can say that 1.2 kg of sugar contain 5.4 into 10 raised to power 6 crystal. I hope, my dear friend, you understand these things. Yes, now the next question here is, Rashmi has a road map with a scale of 1 centimeter representing 18 kilometer. What is? Yes. 1 centimeter representing 18 kilometer. She drives on a road for 72 kilometer. Okay. She drives on a road for 72 kilometer. What would be her distance covered in the map? So we have to find the distance covered in the map. Okay. Now here is in this, so given part is 1 centimeter represent 1 centimeter represent 18 kilometer. What is 18 kilometer? So now let's suppose x centimeter represent, here is 72 kilometer. What is? Yeah, 72 kilometer. Okay. So if we make the table here, you can see that distance in map and actual distance. Actual distance. So this is in centimeter. Okay. And this is in what? This is in kilometer. Okay. Got it? So now here you can see if distance in map is 1 centimeter, then it is 18 kilometer. Okay. So for 72 kilometer, here we are assuming this is x centimeter. So we have to find the value of x. Okay. We can easily find. How we can find? With the help of proportions. Now we have to check these two variables are in direct proportion or inverse proportion. Okay. Now here, as the distance in map is increases, then the actual distance is also increases. Okay. So we can say that these two variables are direct proportion. Okay. So here we can write as the distance on map is increases, then the distance we can write then the distance on rod is also increases, or is also increases, or we can say or actual distance is increases. So they are what? They are in direct proportion. So here they are in direct proportion. So now my dear friends, if two variables are in direct proportion, we can write x1 upon x2 is equals to y1 upon y2, or we can write x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. Okay. Here we are shifting x2 here and we are shifting y1 is here. Okay. So both are the same. So now here we know that we can say that if they are variable x and y, then we can take this is x1, this is x2, this is y1, this is y2. Okay. And we put the values. So we get 1 upon 18 is equals to x upon 72. Okay. So this will become x into 18 is equals to 1 into 72. So here we get x is equals to 72 upon 18. 72 upon 18. I hope you understand these things. So after solving this, here we get this will be cancelled by 4 times. So we get 4. So x is what? X is 4 centimeter. Here you can see that x is what? 4 centimeter. Okay. So we can say that Rashmi covered 4 centimeter on map. We can say Rashmi covered 4 centimeter on map. Okay. Yes. Now the next question here you can see that A 5 meter 60 centimeter high vertical pole casts a shadow 3 meter 20 centimeter long. Okay, now find at the same time the length of the shadow cast by another pole 10 meter 50 centimeter high. Okay, and the height, in the second case, the height of the pole which casts a shadow 5 meter high, or we can say 5 meter long. Okay, so yes, first of all we are going to find the first case. Okay, now here is, first of all we are going to convert all these units in the centimeter. Okay, so here height of vertical pole, height of vertical pole is 5 meter 60 centimeter. Now if you convert it into centimeter, then it will become 5 meter plus 60 centimeter. So this will become 500 centimeter. Okay, plus 60 centimeter. So we get 560 centimeter. Understand? Now the shadow of length of shadow of vertical pole. So this is what? Here we know that this is 3 meter 20 centimeter, and we can write it as 3 meter plus 20 centimeter. So this will become 300 centimeter plus 20 centimeter. So we get 320 centimeter. Okay, we convert all these lengths in centimeter. Understand? Now here is, in the first part, length of shadow cast by another pole which having the height 10 meter 50 centimeter. Okay, we have to find the length of the shadow cast by the another pole. So here is height of another pole. So this is equals to, it is given that 10 meter 50 centimeter. This is 10 meter and 50 centimeter. So now here you can see we can write 10 meter plus 50 centimeter. So this will become, yeah, if we multiply 100 we get 1000 centimeter plus 50 centimeter. So we get 1050 centimeter. Okay, so this is the height of the another pole, and we can write, let's suppose that the length of the shadow of another pole. We are taking, this is x centimeter. This is what? X centimeter. So here we have two poles and two shadows. So if we make the table, here is height of pole. Okay, and they are in centimeter. And the next one is length of shadow, and this is also in centimeter. Now first pole, the height of first pole is what? The height of, here you can see, height of first pole is 560 centimeter. Okay, and the length of shadow of the first pole is 320 centimeter. So we can write 560 and this is 320. Okay, now height of another pole, this is 1050 centimeter, and we have to find the length of the shadow of the another pole, which is, we are assuming this is x centimeter. So our table look like this. Now if the length of the, or we can say if the height of the pole is increases, then the length of the shadow is also increases. Then we can say that they are in what? They are in direct proportion. Okay, so we can write they are in direct proportion. So We know that if two variables are in direct proportion, then we can write x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. Okay, so this is what? This is our x1 and this is our y1. This is our x2 and this is our y2. So x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. If we put the value, we get 560 upon 320 is equals to 1050 divided by x. Now if we do the cross multiply, here we get 560 into x. This is equals to 1050 into 320. So x is what? So here x will become 1050 into 320 divided by what? Divided by 560. Now this 0 and this 0 will be cancelled. Okay, and 32 divided by 2 in 16 times. Again 56 divided by 2 in 28 times. Again 16 divided by 2 in 8 times. 28 divided by 2 in 14 times. Again 8 divided by 2 in 4 times. 14 divided by 2 in 7 times. Okay, now here we can cancel 1050 by 7 in 150 times. In what? 150 times. So here we get 150 into 4. This will give 600 centimeter. So x is what? 600 centimeter. Okay, and if we convert it into meter, we get 6 meter. We get what? 6 meter. So we can write here as length of, here is length of shadow of, okay, length of shadow of another pole is 6 meter. What is? Yeah, 6 meter. I hope you understand these things, my dear friends. Yes, now let's solve the second part, and the second part is saying that we have to find the height of a pole which casts a shadow of 5 meter. Okay, it casts a shadow of 5 meter. Now here if length of shadow of, okay, so shadow of pole is what? This is 5 meter, and if you convert it into centimeter, we get 500 centimeter. We get what? 500 centimeter. Now my dear friend, here, so let's suppose that height of pole, we are assuming this is x centimeter. What is? Yes, x centimeter. So here, if you make the table, height of pole and length of shadow of pole, all these units are in centimeter. Are in what? Centimeter. So if the height of the pole, here it is given in this question, this is 560 height of the vertical pole and 320 is the length of the shadow. So here we can write, so this is what? Here height of pole is 560, then the length of shadow of pole is, this is 560 and this is 320. And here in this case, here we have 500, then we have to find x, means height of the pole. Got it? Okay, now with the help of proportions, we can easily find the value of x. We know very well. Got it? Yeah, so now this will become like 560 upon 320 is equals to x upon 500. So from this, x is equals to, yes, 560. Here is 560 into 500 and it is divided by 320. This 0 and this 0 will be cancelled. Okay, and here we can cancel it as this 32 will be cancelled by 2 in, yes, in 16 times. This 56 cancelled by 2 in 28 times. Again, this cancelled by 2 in 14 times and this is by 2 in, yes, 8 times. So again this is 4 and here this is 7. Understand, my dear friend? I hope you understand this thing. Now again we can divide it as by 2. Here we get 250. Okay, again we can divide 250 by 2 in how many times? Here we can cancel it 1, 2, 5. Okay, in how many times? 125 times. So we get 7 into 125. 7 into what? 125. Okay, so from this, after solving this, here we get x is equals to, so after multiplying this we get 875 centimeter, and if we convert it into meter, here we get 8 meter 75 centimeter. Okay, so this is what, this is the height of the pole, and this is the answer. I hope my dear friend you understand these things. Yes, now let's move on to the next question, which is a loaded truck travels 14 kilometer in 25 minutes. Okay, if the speed remains the same, how far can it travel in 5 hours? How far can it travel in 5 hours? Okay, now here it is given that this truck travels 14 kilometer in 25 minutes. Okay, loaded truck travels 14 kilometer in 25 minutes, and we need to find how far it travels in 5 hours. Here is speed is same, speed is same. Okay, so here we need to find that. Okay, so here we need to find that how far it travel it travel in 5 hours. In 5 hours. Now here we have to convert these 5 hours into minutes. So how we can convert it? So here this will become like 5 into 60. 5 into 60. So this will become 300 minutes. Okay. So let's suppose let the truck travel x kilometer in 300 minutes. In what? 300 minutes. Okay. Yeah, so now if we make the table, here is distance traveled, which is in kilometer, which is in what? Kilometer. And here is time taken. What is time taken? And this is what? This is in, yes, minute. Okay. So, okay, if a truck travels 14 kilometer, then it takes 25 minutes. Okay, so in 300 minutes, we are supposing this is travel x kilometer, and here we have to find the value of x. So how we can find it? Now here we know that it is saying in the question the speed is what? Speed remains the same. So if the distance traveled is increases, then the time taken is automatically increases. Okay, so we can say that these two variables are in direct proportion. Are in what? Direct proportion. Okay, so we can write they are in direct proportion. They are in direct proportion. Yes. So now if two variables are in direct proportion, we can write it as x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. Okay, and here is x1 y1 is what? Here this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, and this is y2. So we can write 14 upon 25, this is equals to x upon 300. What is x upon 300? Now after cross multiplying, here we get 14 into 300, and this is equals to x into 25. So x will be 14 into 300, and it is divided by 25. It is divided by what? 25. I hope you understand these things. Now here we can divide 300 by 25 in 12 times. So here we get 14 into 12. We get what? 14 into 12. So x is, if we multiply this, we get 168 kilometer. 168 kilometers. So we can write loaded truck travel 168 kilometers in 5 hours. In what? In 5 hours. So this is the answer of this question. Yes, so now let's move on to the next question. Here you can see a factory requires 42 machines to produce a given number of articles in 63 days. Okay, how many machines would be required to produce the same number of articles in 54 days? 54 days. Okay, now here it is given that 42 machines are required to produce okay, required to produce articles in 63 days, and here we have to find the number of machines which produce the articles in 64 days. Okay, so here we need to find number of machines. We need to find number of machines which produce articles in 54 days. So this is very easily. Okay, so now how we can find it? Let's suppose let number of machines is x. Okay, so now if you make the table, so this will look like number of machines and time taken. Okay, so this is in this is in days. So if number of machines is 42, then time taken is 63. Okay, so we have to find number of machines. Okay, for time taken 54. So we can easily find. Okay, now we have to identify that the relation between these two variables are direct proportion or inverse proportion. So now here you can see that if number of machine increases, then the time taken to produce the articles decrease. Okay, then time taken to produce the articles is decreases. Okay, so we can say that these two variables are in inverse proportion. These two variables are in what? Inverse proportion. We can write they are in inverse proportion. So if two variables are in inverse proportion, then we can write x1 y1 is equals to x2 y2. Okay, and here we can say that this is our x1, this is our y1, this is our x2, and this is our y2. So here is x1 into y1, it means 42 into, here is 42 into 63, and this is equals to x into 54. So with the help of this expression we can easily find the value of x. So this will become 42 into 63, and it is divided by 54. It is divided by what? 54. So we can divide 54 by 2 in 27 times, and we can divide 42 by 2 in 21 times. In what? In 21 times. Okay, and again we can cancel 27 by 3 in 9 times, and we can cancel 21 by 3 in 7 times. In what? Yes, in 7 times. And we can divide 63 by 9 in 7 times. So here we get 7 into 7. So this will be 49. So here we need to require 49 machine to produce the articles in 54 days. Okay, so here we can write 49 machines will be required. 49 machines will be required to produce To produce what? To produce articles in 54 days. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. So this is enough for today, and we will meet in the next lecture with the next amazing topic. So thank you very much for listening me, and take care and goodbye.